My name is Sanchez Bailey. Many would call me a sports psychologist, but I introduce myself to you as a performance mentality specialist. This is because I work with athletes to raise their performance levels through mindset. It's the performance mentality that takes them to the heights that they aspire to be. Throughout this season, you'll see the mindset of a number of athletes and their journey towards their goals. I had the pleasure of travelling to Nottingham and catching up with Derrick Osaze, a gentleman that I went to college with, but for his ability and persona would no longer need an introduction to the sporting world.
Beaten, no boy, Derrick Osaze.
History. Derrick, how you doing, you alright?
How you doing?
Not too bad myself. Can I please introduce you to the viewers, yeah? If there's anything
Yes.
else that you need to add it in.
Of course, no
So I'm
worries.
going to start off by you being a boxer, middleweight boxer.
Yeah.
Yeah, undefeated.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you are not only a middleweight boxer, but you are an ordained minister.
Correct.
So they call you the punching preacher.
Correct.
You are also a master.
Yes, correct.
So you studied and got yourself a master's in
Yeah.
sports psychology.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you nothing. And you are married, and
Yes.
you've got your family. You live in
I'm
Nottingham.
wearing my ring at the moment. Just finished training, but
I'm joking.
Yeah,
But
right.
so welcome, man,
Thank
to
you, I really
Trust the
appreciate
Process. And it's just really good to sit down and talk with you because
man,
we've come a long way.
It's an honour, man. I really appreciate it. So,
Yeah. So one of the things about you, I noticed is that
Yeah.
you're extremely fit, right? And I've said that in one of your fights. I was
I
seeing you.
hope so.
It was crazy. And what I would then ask you is, what do you think one of your strengths is as a boxer?
I would say I think it's my adaptability and awkwardness. Like you always get the question about, okay, what's your style like? Next time you see you box, what can we expect from you? And I never know how to answer it because I feel like I adapt to what's in front of me.
Of course.
There are some, if you looked at all my fights, I probably look like a different boxer each of my fights because I adapt to what's in front of me and I implement a style which is suitable for that opponent for that fight. Do you know what I mean? But in terms of overall, I've been told that my style is very awkward. High work rate. I throw unorthodox shots from unorthodox angles, which is I think that's more me. So yeah.
No, I hear that, and that sounds good, and I can definitely attest to your fitness. And you saying you're adaptable, that's a mental thing.
Yeah, 100%.
How important is psychology in boxing?
It's massive in boxing. I think people should place more importance on the mental side of boxing. Boxing is more mental than you think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've seen boxers that are very talented, have all the physical attributes, but mentally just not there. Do you know what I mean? It's not only just being able to, perform physically, but you have to perform mentally. You have to remain calm, because sometimes in the ring you're going to face adversity. You have to remain disciplined to maybe stick to a game plan you've been set by your coach. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, there's a lot plays into it mentally, and I think most of the times, like you say, I'm fit. I'll say it's great. It sounds great because sometimes when you're in there, you don't feel like it, but mentally, you have to tell yourself that I'm fit. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I may be in the ring and I have a conversation with myself. I feel like I'm getting tired. I'm like, nah, man, you've trained hard. You're fit. Keep going. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes you'll be surprised how boxers, in terms of what people see on the outside and how we really feel on the inside, is different.
Yeah.
If there was a microphone in our brain and you could hear what's going through our mind during the fight, you'd be amazed. So
Really?
it's definitely.
And all of that goes on during a fight?
All of it.
Crazy.
All of it. Do you know what I mean? You're thinking, I threw that shot last time, that didn't work. Okay, I see this opening. Literally, sometimes you can be having a conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
So the mental side is a massive part of the sport. Massive part.
And sorry to keep going on about the psychological side. It's very fascinating, speaking to a pro boxer about the mental side. And I'm going to kind of bring it back to college times again. And I'm sure you can forgive me for saying this. She was a little bit chubbier around that time.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I will not deny it. I love my food.
Which is not a bad thing, but
I love my food.
I'm now highlighting how impressive you got to a physical and a fit state.
Yeah.
How was that discipline during that transition?
Do you know what? Funny enough, like you said, I'll own it. I've got an inner fat kid. You know what I mean? Ever since I was young, I was always in the play. I love my food, love my drink. But in terms of the discipline, I think it was more of my focus was never, I want to look physically fit. Do you know, it was always about how I felt in terms of my ability to perform. So my focus was on, okay, I need to train more, I need to run more, I need to eat well, because I want to improve my ability to perform. Me dieting and feeding my body the right things it's like trying to put diesel in a petrol car. I'm making sure, sometimes you can go to a petrol station, you can put in the normal petrol, you can put in the Supreme, do you know what I mean? So it's all about trying to get the best out of your car. Where it was always trying to get the best out of me in terms of performance. So everything was tailored to just being the best version of myself, and then the physical stuff just follows after. So
and it's admirable, man. Like,
man.
and I have first-hand experience of that journey.
Yeah.
You saying you want to get back into boxing, and now we're talking in a lead up to a big fight coming up. No. It's quite a unique fight and a tournament that's going on. Could you tell us a little bit more about it?
So it's the Ultimate Boxer. So it's a concept similar to like the Prize Fighter, if you know about it. So how it works is it's an 8-man tournament. So 8 professional boxers, and it's 3 rounds. So quarters, semis, finals, a draw that takes place, and basically it's a knockout stage. So the maximum you can box in the one tournament is 3 fights, all at 3 rounds of 3 minutes. Alright, so the most you can box in a day is 9 rounds. So it's a great format because it's a tournament, everything is settled in one day. It's a bit different to the professional game because 3 rounds is the amateur distance. But a lot of us who are pros, maybe between 6 and 10, 15 fights, you've probably transitioned away from doing the short, fast stamina rounds. And you've maybe done 6 round, 8 round, 10 round fights. But now this tournament, because it's 3 rounds, is if you lose a round, if you don't win the next 2, you can lose the fight.
Exactly.
So your whole ideology in terms of how you approach it changes. So man, it's due to be a great tournament. It's great for the boxers to get exposure as well. So because it's going to be televised on BT Sport. So man, it's amazing. I can't wait. I think it's a format that suits me very well. I tend to start my fights very fast as well. In fact, this stage of my career, my coach has been trying to slow me down and like get me to pace myself more. So like sparring longer rounds, 8-10 rounds. But now I've been let off the leash for this tournament, so I can go back to my normal fast pace. But obviously, you just got to make sure I'm in the best condition possible because you've got to be fit. So I can't wait, man. It's a big opportunity, and man, I thank God.
I can only imagine. I'm looking forward to it, and that's Friday the 10th of May.
Yeah, Friday 10th of May at the Indigo O2 Arena. So man, looking forward to it.
Yeah, so if you can get your tickets, get that. That'll be good to see Derrick, and I'm sure you'll be seeing exactly what I'm talking about in terms of his fitness and his fast attacks. I don't know if that's the right phrase to use. Now, bro, if I was to ask you, looking back on your career so far, what's been your greatest achievement?
I would say for me, probably winning my first national title. I think why it was such a big achievement for me was, I think is what I had to overcome to get there.
When was this?
This was 2015 University Championships. And for me, prior to that, I had missed, I think, 3 consecutive tournaments through injury, and I'd also missed 2 or 3 tournaments. I'd call it politics, due to factors that were out of my control. So in the lead up to that tournament, I felt like I hadn't been given the proper opportunity to sort of kind of show what I'm capable of. Funny enough, even due to 1 injury, so the tournament before that, the national championships, because of an injury I tore my hamstring. I had an operation on my chest. So going into the tournament, I didn't have enough time to prepare. So I didn't have enough time to get my weight down. I'm middleweight, but I boxed at light heavy. I was ill and I was still more or less injured, and I still managed to get to the national quarters. And even in national quarters, it was debatable. I think I won it. So for me, it gave me a lot of encouragement to, if I could do that at 50% me in a different weight class, what can 100% me do? So I think with this tournament, when I won that, it was just approaching the tournament with such a different philosophy. It was the first tournament where in the camp I had no injuries, no setbacks, everything just fell into place. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like it allowed me just to properly focus on training, and I feel like I trained like I was a crazy person for that tournament, and it was more the victory of everything that in the lead up into it. So man, it was a great feeling. I think I was in tears after the fight.
And I think reflections are very important to see how you're going, and then almost use that to direct your journey there. So 100%. Then it would lead me to ask you then, what do you want your greatest achievement to be?
I think the greatest achievement for me personally is the fact I'm still competing now and I'm still at it, number 1. Boxing wise, to go all the way, man, I believe I'm not in the sport to just make up numbers. I wouldn't be doing it if that was the case. So become world champion, man, in middleweight, ultimately move up to super middle, potentially light heavy, and just, man, sky's the limit. And then I want to use my success as a platform to help inspire the next generation. Therefore, obviously, I'm passionate about young people, want to get into a lot more youth work, and also I want to help boxers like myself, because I feel like the way the industry is going now, it's hard, man. It's very hard. You know, I'm a rare breed of boxer, because I've been to uni, I've got a master's.
True.
And boxing tends to be an industry where people who are fighting probably come from less privileged backgrounds. You know, they probably haven't got any other opportunity. Fighting's their only option. And I feel like because of that, a lot of industries, promoters, managers manipulate them. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
In terms of, you know, certain agreements and contracts and stuff. And I feel like that's something I would want to help the next boxer avoid. Do you know what I mean? So, man, I want to go become world champion, and help the next generation of boxers and young people come through.
I like that.
That's
and
the main thing.
You being alone in the ring, like you're someone that's is solo and you have a message. You know, you have opportunities to speak a lot, 100%. And we're talking here, press conferences, and 100%. People follow you. And that's what we want all the viewers, and I call them the community, to follow you in your journey to process and follow you to become a world champion, you know. And as your sports psychology master yourself, we already know that you want to kind of set realistic and achievable targets. So if you was to cut, it's not that it's not realistic, but more so provide an achievable target now. What would that halfway point be for you becoming world champion? That's going to be closer to that.
Yeah, that's good. I'd say in terms of 3-year plan, so I'd say if I'm working 3 years to 3 years, the 3-year plan I'm currently in now runs up until the end of 2020.
Nice.
By the end of 2020, the plan is to be ranked at least in the top 20 of the governing bodies, WBA, WBC, IBF. Those are the world title organisations. By the end of 2020, I realistically want to be in a position to be challenging for the European title. Would have either won the British or won the English title. To definitely be comfortably sitting ranked within the top 5, maximum top 10 within this country, and to be with a big promoter, because you know I'm not oblivious to the fact of that, you know, you're following and who's backing you and the support you have and the opportunities you have plays a big part in boxing today. Do you know what I mean? So I'm happy the stage I'm at now, because it gives me a bit more freedom, because I'm not tied down to any contract or anything in terms of fights. I can fight in any shows, I can be as active and big as I want to, which is great in the early stages. When you get to that point where you force your way into positions for some of the big fights, you need the big promoters behind you. So that's realistically the aim within the next, by the end of 2020, short term. Rank top 15, top 20 of the governing bodies, looking at boxing for the European title, would have already won the British one, the English, and sitting comfortably within the top 5 in the country. So that's the plan. So not doing too bad. My target was to be top 20 by the end of this year, currently ranked 18 in my weight class. So I'm doing all right. And everyone's on a journey, and I admire dedication, hard work, and I admire growth. And even what you're doing now, man, it's brilliant, man. So keep it up, man.
Respect, man. We'll be there together, man.
100%.
We'll talk. Hopefully we can do this soon once again.
Yeah, 100%.
Bro.
It'll be good to reassess where we're both at.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So it's good, man.
Derrick,
bro, so much love, man.
Thanks for your time, man. Love.
Vibes in. See the way that we be vibing all night. Riding. Killing like the way you're riding on, man. Vibes in. See the way that we be vibing all night. It's all comes out.